August 3, 1492. Three small ships, the Niña, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, bob nervously in the port of Palos de la Frontera, Spain. On board, a crew of 90 men share a mixture of fear and anticipation. They are about to sail off the edge of the known world, chasing the horizon into a vast, uncharted ocean. Their leader, a determined Genoese navigator named Cristoforo Colombo, or Christopher Columbus, is consumed by a single, audacious idea that he can reach the fabled riches of the East by sailing west. He has gambled everything on this voyage: his reputation, his future, and the lives of every man aboard. What he doesn't know is that he isn't sailing towards Asia at all. He is sailing towards a collision of worlds that will forever alter the course of human history. Columbus wasn't a madman, but his theory was radical for the time. He believed the world was smaller than most scholars thought, making a westward journey to the Spice Islands of Asia not just possible, but profitable. For nearly a decade, he pitched his enterprise of the Indies to the royal courts of Europe, only to be rejected time and time again. Portugal, England, France, they all dismissed him. His calculations were flawed, they said. The ocean was too vast. But Columbus was relentless. Finally, in Spain, after years of persistence, he found his patrons: Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand. Fresh from their victory in the Reconquista, they were eager to rival Portugal's dominance over the eastern trade routes. They gave him his ships, his crew, and his chance to prove everyone wrong. The journey was grueling. Weeks turned into a month, then 2. The crew grew restless, their hope dwindling with each passing day. The sea was unnervingly calm, the winds strange. They were further from land than any European sailor had ever been. Mutiny was in the air. Columbus had to use every ounce of his charisma and leadership to keep his men in line, even fudging the ship's log to make the distance they'd traveled seem shorter. He promised them riches, glory, and a swift return. Just a few more days, he pleaded. Then, on the moonlit night of October 12th, a lookout high in the rigging of the Pinta screamed the words everyone longed to hear: Tierra, tierra. Land. It wasn't Japan or China. It was a small island in what we now call the Bahamas, which Columbus named San Salvador. He was greeted by the native Taino people, whom he called Indians, mistakenly believing he had reached the Indies. He saw them not as people with a rich culture of their own, but as potential subjects for the Spanish crown and a source of gold. This first encounter set a devastating precedent. Columbus was obsessed with finding gold, the one thing that would prove his voyage a success. He sailed from island to island, Cuba, Hispaniola, searching for the glittering cities Marco Polo had described, but found only small villages. Frustrated but undeterred, he established a settlement on Hispaniola La Navidad, leaving 39 of his men behind before beginning the treacherous voyage back to Spain. When he returned, he was hailed as a hero. He presented Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand with parrots, exotic plants, and a few captured Taino people. He had not found the Great Khans or mountains of gold, but he had found a new world. He would return 3 more times, his subsequent voyages marked by brutal governance, the enslavement of native populations, and a desperate, unfulfilled search for the Asian mainland. The navigator who had so brilliantly crossed the ocean proved to be a disastrous colonial administrator. The legacy of Columbus is one of the most debated in history. Was he a visionary explorer who connected 2 hemispheres, ushering in the modern age? Or was he a ruthless invader whose arrival triggered centuries of exploitation and the decimation of indigenous peoples? The answer is not simple. He was a man of his time, driven by ambition, faith, and a desire for wealth. His voyages undeniably opened up the Americas to European colonization, leading to the Columbian Exchange, the transfer of plants, animals, diseases, and ideas between the Old World and the New. This exchange reshaped the global ecosystem and human societies, for better and for worse. In the end, Columbus died in 1506, still convinced he had found a new route to Asia, largely unaware of the true scale of his discovery. He died a wealthy man, but felt cheated of the recognition and power he believed he deserved. The story of Christopher Columbus is not just a tale of navigation and discovery. It's a complex and often uncomfortable look at the clash of cultures, the dawn of a global empire, and the enduring consequences of one man's monumental miscalculation. It's a story that continues to shape our world and challenge our understanding of history itself. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If you found this story compelling, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the past. We'll see you next time.